Yo, what's going on, my people? It's your boy Matty Soul coming back at you again with another video again. So today I'm gonna be talking about how I quit weed and how long I've stopped, and you could stop too if you really wanted to. It ain't very hard to quit. It's very easy. It just depends on your mind and how you understand and perceive the world and how you perceive weed. Okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all a little story about like why I think the universe is telling me like I don't have to smoke any substance or do anything to feel good or to do anything to really like to feel happy, you know? Like I feel happy, like I feel just like grateful for life. I don't need something to make me happy for life, you know what I'm saying? Because like I was someone who smoked weed for like 3 years. I smoked that shit for 3 years. Like that shit was like I was praising it like a god type thing, you know what I'm saying? Because like weed, it just makes you feel good, and it's not like cigarettes where they're bad, where they're really, really bad for you, and it's not like a really, really bad drug that physically harms you. But weed, it makes you mentally addicted and like mentally like it fucks with your emotions on like how you perceive things. And when you run out of weed, like you're just a fiend for it. Like you just really you're just mad at everybody. You're mad as hell at life. Like look at everything so negative because this is how like it works. Like if you smoke weed irresponsibly and you smoke it too much, then you get away from the real world. Like you get away from just being sober. You forget like about being sober. And so like what that does is it's kind of like alcohol. Well, alcohol and weed's not the same substance, but it's pretty much similar to where like it's like putting a band-aid on your pain to where like it makes you feel better, but you're not solving the problem. So that's pretty much like the problem with using like weed, alcohol, and like just any drug in general. If you use it too much, you're just not you're just not being truthful to yourself. You're kind of just lying to yourself in a sense. And once like the reality hits you like of what this world is, and you start thinking a lot, you start to become aware, then weed is just something that you don't really need anymore. For me personally, I don't need that stuff anymore because when I smoked that shit, I haven't smoked in like 3 weeks. 3 weeks to a month, honestly. I haven't smoked that shit in 3 weeks. And even for like the past 4 or 5 months, I would barely smoke. I'd smoke like once every like few weeks or something like that. Like I just kind of cut down. Like I kind of really cut down in March and April because when I used to smoke dabs too, but like the dabs are just too strong. Like I'll just get a lot of anxiety and just like get this like paranoia feeling about it and stuff because I just think a lot when I'm high. So that's why I absolutely do not touch dabs, which is just concentrated weed. I don't touch that stuff anymore because that shit really, it just fucks you up too much. Like you feel weird when you're so fucked up. Like it's an eye-opener before like you understand what the world is, but once you know what the world really is and you understand a lot of shit, and I'm still learning, but still I know a lot of shit. And if you smoke weed and you think a lot, it could cause anxiety and like make you shake, and like it's like some shit like that shouldn't be happening. That usually if you smoke weed, like you should be able to just like relax, but for me, I just think too much, so it's hard to relax. So when I smoke, it just all I think about is like everything I've learned about life, and it's just I can't smoke it anymore because I just think too much. And on top of that, the last time I smoked, I passed out. So yeah, I passed out. Yeah, like I blacked out. Like I got so fucking high, like the dopamine would not stop. Like it just kept going up and up and up. Like it just went cut off. Like it just went up, up, up. And I didn't even take that big of a bong rip. Like this was like a little 0.1, 0.2 hit. And I got high as fuck off that shit. Like I just got way too high. And like when I get way too high, I just feel weird. Like you just get this weird feeling like your soul, your spirit just like is like moving in your body and shit like that. Which is like, it's hard to like feel yourself too. That's another thing. I don't like being like way too high, because like every time I'm way too high, like I know that our bodies are made of like electricity, like not like actual like electricity, like and like these lights and stuff, but in our bodies and our brain, every time we move our like hands and we do our bodily our functions throughout our body, it's like electricity, like telling your brain to like move your hand. Like, so like I know like our brains are like electricity type of things. Like, and every time I smoke and like I move, like say I'm going to bed and I put the blanket over me, I just can't feel myself. It's like, it's a weird feeling. Like if you smoke and you know what I'm talking about, where like even you put clothes on, like you don't even feel yourself. I don't like that. I like to feel myself. Like I like to feel like, I don't like it when I like feel this like electricity just like all over me. It just feels so weird. Like it's just so trippy. I don't really like it. Like I used to not feel it, but like once I know a lot about that shit, it's just like I can't smoke anymore. It's just something I don't need. It's not really making me happier, and I just appreciate life when I'm sober. Like being sober is the only way I can do it now, because, well, I'm not like all the way sober, obviously, like I am, but sometimes I'll hit someone's like nicotine vape or something like that, but that's about it. Like that's all I do. But like I don't smoke cigarettes. I mean I did before, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie, I have before, but I haven't done that in a long time. So it's like I don't like smoking anything anyway, and if the only thing I'll hit is like a nicotine vape, but that's about it. But I don't own one myself. I did have one before, but it's just, you get tired of that shit. I don't need it, you know? Like God made me to where, and the universe told me, you don't need no substance, you don't need no nicotine, you don't need anything to be happy. Like all you need is yourself to be happy. It's like that's the true way of life. You don't need nothing to be happy. And maybe weed. I'm not saying weed is a bad thing, but when you don't know a whole lot about life, weed is a great like thing to have. It's a great thing to like really have, because it opens doors in your brains to think and stuff. Like what's crazy is when I smoked dabs and I was still able to like handle the high. And this applies to weed too, but especially dabs. Like when I used to smoke dabs and I was out in my back patio and shit, I could just like, it started opening my mind up about like the birds talking to each other. And to a normal person, that sounds like fucking crazy. Like crazy talking people would be like, you're such a fucking weirdo, bro. But I don't give a fuck what these niggas say, because they don't understand it. They're just closed-minded assholes. So don't listen to these people. Like, I don't really give a fuck what they say. That's the one thing. You gotta not care what people think. Because you care what people think, you're a little bitch. You're a fucking coward, bro. Like, you can't let people, like, tell you, like, how to live your life, you know what I'm saying? If people think you're crazy, let them think you're crazy. Because they're the people that are misled. They're the ones that follow the master's rules, the sheep. You know what I'm saying? But don't let the masses like change your mind on who you are, because that's who you are. Like, they don't know who you are. You only know yourself. You can only know yourself, and that's it. And most people here are not meant to wake up. They're not meant to see what the real world is. Like, I'm talking like how the world is really ran. They're not really meant to understand it. Like, the masses are going to be asleep. And if they want to be asleep, that's fine. But don't pull me into your fucking bullshit because you're afraid of catching coronavirus. You're fucking afraid to catch that shit. Or you're focused on social distancing and masks, when the real problem is behind coronavirus. Coronavirus is a smokescreen for many other problems behind it. Like the shadow market crashed like in September 2019, and they used coronavirus to cover it up. And they've used child sex trafficking like coronavirus to cover that up too, and many other things that cover up. Like, coronavirus covers up many things. It's hype in the media that's just stupid as hell. Like, if you believe that shit, I don't care if you believe that shit, but if you do, like, you can't be like you just don't think for yourself. That's just who you are. Like, you're a bot. You're a sheep. You follow the master's orders. You don't think for yourself, man. You either a robot, sheep, or you're a real human being who thinks for themselves. And I'm a real human being that thinks for themselves. Like, I don't take shit from nobody. Like, I do whatever the fuck I want, and I look into it with truth and facts. Like, I'm not someone who leans to like one political side and then goes against like the other side. I don't do it like that. I just look to see who's got the true facts. And if the one side's looking like they have more true facts and they're speaking a little more truth, then I'll be on that side a little bit. But I'm not really playing it like that. I'm just in between to see who's got the real facts and who's like the ones that are the evil people. And it's all fucked up and shit. But it's like, a lot of people who smoke weed, okay, I'm going back to this. A lot of people who smoke weed, their minds are more open. Like, they understand a lot about life. But just because you don't smoke weed doesn't mean you could open your mind up more. Because I've learned from people who've never smoked weed in their life, and they know about a lot of shit, and they understand, and their mind's very open, and they've learned a lot of shit. So you don't have to smoke weed to open your mind up. But if you are someone who doesn't have as open of a mind and you smoke weed, it's really going to help you open your mind up faster, because it's one of those things where like you realize a lot of stuff. Like, you start to question this reality. You start to like understand what the freaking hell we're living in. So it's just like, yeah, it's one of those things. But a lot of people who don't think for themselves, a lot of people who think like, oh, what are the consequences of if I do this? And it's like, what are the consequences if you're not like doing this and trying to help people and stuff? Like, you gotta understand that like it's one of those things where like if you don't do anything about it, no one's gonna remember you. Like, you're not gonna impact this world. You're not gonna help people. Like, when you die, like, everyone's just gonna forget about you type shit. And you gotta be someone that opens people's mind up, like really help them understand life. Because if we all come together and we all speak about the same stuff, then we can really learn off each other, and we can help people who like haven't discovered the true like path of life, and we could put them on that path of life if it opens their mind. But if they don't choose to open their mind, that's fine. I don't care if you don't. But it's like, I make these videos to really help people guide themselves to understand, like, it's just, you don't have to believe in religion, you don't have to believe in this, but But you just gotta look at it in a bigger perspective and learn in all types of ways, because just because your parents taught you this or that or whatever it was, doesn't mean it's the true way of life. Like, we're not supposed to be celebrating holidays, but we do. So it's like, how do you debate that with people who celebrate holidays their whole life? Like, it's hard to tell people like what they've been doing for their whole life that it was a lie, it was an illusion, it was just simply something that they fell for. So it's like, you gotta understand, in many ways, this life's a trap. Like, no matter what you believe in or what happens, there's always something that we could find that could really open our minds up. So keep in mind. And hope y'all have a good day. I'll see y'all next video. Peace out.